Hi there, this is Andrea with my Week 5 Advanced Interactive Concept. I'm going to be um, cleaning some rusted pennies in a solution of salt and vinegar. So what I have is there we go, yeah, a quarter cup of vinegar, and I'm pouring it into a glass bowl. I need a glass bowl and not any kind of metal or copper bowl so that the material of the bowl doesn't react with the rest of our reaction here. Teaspoon of salt. Mix that in. Try to pick this up. You can see what I'm doing. Oh. There we go. Okay, so I need to mix this up really well so that the salt and the vinegar completely dissolve. And so what's going on here is that the acetic acid in vinegar and the salt are combining, and they're basically actually there's going to be dissociation between them, and it's going to become more acidic. So when the vinegar mixes with the chlorine and the sodium, it actually becomes hydrochloric acid and sodium acetate, because the acetic acid from the vinegar lost a hydrogen ion, and so that makes it more an acid. So really, when the vinegar and salt are together, the vinegar is acting more like a base until it reacts with the salt, and because it loses its hydrogen ion, it then becomes, we have an acidic solution here. It's almost all the way dissolved. Pretty much. Okay. And then what I have is a few rusted pennies. They're pretty dark. I'm just going to use like 4 of them. Okay. So you can see that they're not really shiny at all. And what happened there was that pennies are coated with copper. They used to be completely copper, but they're not anymore. They're pretty much just coated in copper. And copper reacts with the oxygen in the air. So right there we have copper oxide. So it's pretty much like rust on pennies. And what we're going to do is put them into this hydrochloric acid solution. Let them sit in there. Maybe one more. Okay. They're all pretty dark, but they're lighting. You can see that they're getting really light very quickly. Some of them are. Some of them not so much. But it's actually working pretty quick. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, so they're dull like that because of the rust. And so now we have the copper oxide mixing in there with the rest of the solution. I'm going to give it like, I'm just going to mix it around a little actually. Try to facilitate the process. Yeah, because you can even see that more of the rust is coming off when I help it physically. Okay. So, yeah, some of them are really clean. The longer that I let this sit, you can see the longer or the better this would work, the cleaner that they would get. See, it's really, really clean right there, nice and shiny. And so basically, we know that, an acid and a base reaction is a neutralization. And so that means that water and salt are created, right? So here the copper oxide of the penny is mixing with the hydrochloric acid to get the copper, chloride, and water. So that's how we know that it's a neutralization reaction. And that's what caused the penny to become so clean. If I were to leave it there even longer without rinsing it, the reaction would continue because now that it's clean, actually, the copper is more exposed to the oxygen, so it would become more vulnerable to the oxygen in the air, and it would further oxidize. This one is really dark, so some of them are very shiny. But okay, so if I put them in water, that's basically going to stop the reaction from happening because it's going to neutralize it. And if I leave them out for a while without rinsing them off, that's when they're going to develop that bluish green color of like the Statue of Liberty. And that's just because of the oxidation of it. Okay, so now I have a nut from a screw that I'm just going to place in this leftover remaining solution. And depending on how much copper came off from the pennies, the nut that, I guess it's a nut, it's supposed to darken from the copper because the copper electrons that are left over in the solution will be attracted to this metal. I almost think that because this is a cheap kind of like piece that I got from like a toy, I don't know if it's actually going to be attracted to it because it could be painted silver. So if it doesn't react within the next like minute, I don't think that it's going to because I don't think that it's genuine metal in there. Although I do see some little bubbles forming from the hydrogen, creating a hydrogen gas. Yeah, so, and that's from the hydrogen ions that are also in the solution. But I really don't see it turning any kind of color. I'll stay here for a few more minutes, and if it does turn color, I'll include it in the detail, but I don't think that it's going to just because of the type of nut that it is. I think it's kind of a painted cheap color, protected. Even if it is metal, I think that it's protected by whatever chrome fake paint that they probably put on it to make it look shinier. So, okay.